Starting Zoom session at 8:40 p.m. Pacific time. Waiting for Asta to arrive.
Hello,
Hi Asta,
being you
welcome.
there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry, I'm not really sure why these invites aren't going through, but I'm glad you alerted me. Okay, did you also get the email that I sent you,
No.
which contains all the information we're going to cover in this session?
Yes, I just opened mail actually.
Okay, all right. So
So,
so now you know we're going to try to get through a lot.
right. Let me just put on my speakers. Hello.
Hi again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so in one of the you are saying like we have to use Fox Pro 2.6. Is
Correct.
it?
Well, but that's not. I
Okay.
sent you an email maybe about 30 to 60 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm. About this, the whatever we are going to cover in this session, about
Correct.
that. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I opened that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to share my screen here.
Sure.
Let's see if this is what we're on. No, I guess it's this one. Okay, so if this is working right, you should be seeing a screen that is open to a Fox Pro session, and it's got a command window at the bottom of the session, and it's got some stuff typed in green lettering.
Right. I can
Okay,
see. I can see the screen.
good. Can you see it clearly? I made the font is bigger just to try to make it readable for you.
It's readable.
Okay, because I can make it a little bigger if it's going to help.
Um, I can see. No
Okay,
issues.
okay, good. All right, so we're going to start our session. One of the things I'm going to show you is how to generate a line like this, except with your initials, with a single keystroke. We'll get into that in a couple minutes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a folder on my hard drive so that we have a place to work. We could use the DOS command or we could use Windows. I'm just going to use the FoxPro command, which is MD, which is short for Make Directory. And that's going to be on the G drive, and it's going to be called Fox26. Okay, so that should
Okay.
now exist, and let me
Okay.
see if I can verify that.
Okay.
And here it is. So we've got that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set it up so that if you press the F10 key, it's going to place the date and timestamp along with your initials. Can you give me your three initials? If you have three, if it's two or four, that's
Uh,
fine.
Sorry.
I beg your
What
pardon?
is,
Hi, can you hear me okay?
hello?
Hi, can you hear?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you. Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
initials are just a three-letter abbreviation, so we'll always know if it's you that created the comment. Okay, I mean, I assume,
Do you want me to type here?
no, you don't have to type here. I'll fill in this one.
Okay, okay.
We'll have you take over and
Okay.
steer a little bit later.
Dean, can you please just shift this command window a little bit upside because yeah, now it's fine. Little bit up. Yes, it's fine now.
Okay,
Yes, it's fine. It's visible now.
okay. So I need two more initials. I've got the A. I figured that one out. So your initials,
So to set the uh, AR,
AR.
yes.
Okay, all right. Well, for security, we would normally make that AXR if there's no middle name given. And then, did you notice what happened when I took out the asterisk? I'll do that one more time.
Then it will uncomment. It will uncomment that line.
Right, right. It changes from a comment to a command. And so now I'm going to do that. Okay, so we've issued that command. So now if I press the F10 key, okay, I'll have to show you that another
So
time because
F10 is to execute.
it's conflicting with my screen recording software, which was also expecting an F10. So suffice to say, this is the command you want to use if you're commenting your code along the way. For example, if you're writing a program and you get started and you punch in a comment, maybe that comment occurred at 3:10 in the afternoon, and then you do a little bit more programming and you get down to another section you want to comment. If you press F10 again, it might say, you might have your initials followed by the same date, and maybe the time is 7 or 8 minutes later. So the time function will always pick up the system time. So we'll
Okay.
move on to the next thing here.
So Dean, this line on key label F10 key B, this line.
Right.
So what this line is going to do? So it will set the, I mean, that working battery.
Yeah, what it'll do is if someone presses the F10, it's going to go to this
Mm-hmm.
keyboard comments. You can shorten comments to the first four letters. So if I were being really formal, I would have typed keyboard. Okay, and then I'm giving it a character string, which is an asterisk to make sure it's a comment, then a space, then your initials, then another space. Then I want to take the date, but we can't combine date expressions with character expressions unless we convert them to character expressions. So the DTOC converts a date expression to a corresponding character expression that still looks like a date. In other words, it'll still have the the mm/dd/YYYY format, and then time will look like well, the result of it would wind up looking like this command here. Okay, where I've got the asterisk, my initials, the date as a character string, and then the time with HH colon MM colon SS. 2 digits for hour, two for minutes, and 2 for seconds. Okay, it's a
Okay.
minor thing, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. And we won't worry about commenting since it's conflicting with one of my keystrokes. Unless, let me think here. Let's try this a little bit differently. Let's try to set it to F8. And now if I press the function 8 key, there we go. So that works. So, so you understand what I did, right?
Um, so what I understood is if we are setting F10 as the key, uh, then it is adding this the line the down which it has added commented line. And if we set F8 as the key, then on the press of F8 it will set this line.
Right. It will, if the F8 key is pressed, then it's going to stuff the keyboard buffer with with this literal string here, plus what FoxPro understands is the meaning of this as a character string, and then I'm going to put a space in between the date and time, and then this is always a character string, so we don't have to convert that. Okay, and then the last thing I do is I add a blank space and a hyphen and another blank space. The idea being, once this string is generated, now I can insert whatever comment I wanted to put in for that for what I'm trying to comment. Got it?
Okay.
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 All right. It's not a huge part of FoxPro learning, but it is something I'd like you to know for when we start modifying code and one of us needs to figure out what the other was doing, or one of us needs to know that a piece of code was altered, and that here are the initials of the person who altered it. So if you see a string like this with DWL, then you know I altered it. If it has AXR, then you're the one who inserted the comment. And I think in the existing code, we'll also see a lot of comments that have maybe a slightly different format. I don't think Bob is including date and time, but he'll definitely have the initials BEB included in his comments. Okay, so on to the next piece here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to try to show you how to create a table. And first thing we're going to do is show you what happens when you just type create in the command window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's going to pop up a common dialog box, and first,
Okay.
and it doesn't know right now if you want to create a table or another file,
Mm-hmm.
but it thinks you probably want to create a table. So I'm going to cancel out on that, but if we wanted, I could create a table, and let's say we'll put it in here, and we'll call it test.
So, Dean, it would be the table, or first we have to create the database.
I beg your pardon?
So, what I'm asking is, so it would first create a table, or
Well,
before that, it should create some database.
well, in our case, we won't have to create tables very often, okay? But we will occasionally, and so it's important for you to know how to create a table.
Uh, no, what I'm asking is, so for creating table, do we need to first create the database first?
Well, I've worked around that, okay? Generally in FoxPro, people create the table from after creating a spec where they know what fields and what kind of data they're trying to gather. For the purposes of this example, I just want you to know how to create a table.
So like so whatever I have worked, like as I worked in the .NET technology, so .NET technology and SQL Server. So what we do is first we create the database, and then in that database we create the multiple tables, and we can have multiple databases for
Right.
our project.
Correct.
Uh, so how it is in
Okay.
Fox
Yes.
Pro?
And we
Is
and
it
we
work on
yeah
the basis?
we
Mhm.
could indeed create a database and then start creating
Mhm.
tables within that database and adding them to the database. So I'm glad that you're familiar with the concept. Right now, all I want to do is create a table, which we would call a free table in Fox Pro, since it's not attached to a database.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Okay, okay,
this
okay,
this simply means the table is going to be a sort of a different rendering of a page from a spreadsheet. It's not going to have any triggers or stored procedures or relational integrity rules. It's simply going to be a storehouse for 30 test records, so we can kind of walk through some of the commands for manipulating the data and adding data. So if I said yes at
okay.
this point, in other words, I gave the create command here, and I've decided to name it test. And if I say save, then it's going to pop up a
Right.
a
Table
yeah,
structure.
right, correct,
Table structure we have to
right. And
create
then
here.
I could start
Table
plugging in
designer.
things like last name. Um, this is a drop down, so I could easily select the common types, which are character, whoops, let's see, date, um, logical, which you may also know as Boolean, memo, which is that's a variable text field, variable length text field, and numeric. Now we have variations on these fields, such as for numeric, you could have integer or float or long or double long. I don't want to worry about any of those right now. Just wanted you to know that, let's see here, that let's say we're going to have last name, which is a character field, and we'll give it 20 width, and maybe first name as a character field, and we'll give it a width of 15. Now, at this point, I'm going to bail out of this because it'd be more time effective to simply create the table from a command. And so I'll try to expand this window so you can see more of it. Actually, it should be in the notes that I sent you.
Okay. Yeah,
This,
it is there.
yeah, this is the command for creating the table that we want. Oops. Very quickly on the menu, if you want to comment or uncomment something, a block of code,
Okay.
from the format menu,
Okay.
you have options for indent, unindent, comment, and uncomment. So as a
Okay.
hotkey, if you wanted to comment a block of code, your sequence would be Alt O C. If you want to uncomment, it's Alt O. I'm sorry, comment is Alt O M, and uncomment is Alt O N.
Okay.
Um, and Alto I for indenting and Alto U for unindenting. Don't worry about those now. I'm just going to execute this line of code, and I'm not sure if you can see the bottom left corner of the screen, but when I execute this line of code, this status bar at the bottom is going to tell me that we now have a table called card file DBF. Okay.
Okay.
You're able to see that, yes?
So, uh, just 1 minute. I cannot because my this toolbar is there. Okay, so here everything is C20. C like
Well,
C20, C15,
the
C. So
character
what does
fi-
this mean? Character?
the character fields
Okay.
are all C. Okay, the date fields are date, and it's always a length
Okay.
of 8 in FoxPro. Okay.
Okay.
Email address, I arbitrarily made it 35 characters. We might find out one day that we need more room. Call frequency, for within this table, that's, do we want to call this person every 90 days, every 120 days, or do we want to call them hardly ever, which might mean every 999 days. I've got a logical
Mhm.
field, which always has a length of 1. It always stores a character that
Yes
will
or
look
no?
like dot t dot
Okay.
or dot
Okay.
or dot f dot. Um, but it
Okay.
can be
True or false?
right. But in the GUI interface, it might be expecting a 1 or 0. And then notes, we when we create the table, we always designate a notes field as a length of 8, and that creates a very small placeholder in a parallel table, which is linked to the DBF, but it doesn't really take up much room until you start populating it with information. So, okay, so now we have our table called card file, and let's
So
take,
card file, I can now I can see down if the
okay,
status
all
bar
right,
card file
okay, well, it's
C
going to be called
colon that
cardfile.dbf.
right. So DBF is for the table extension,
Yes, that's a
database
table.
file. Okay.
Right, when we're working with data, there are 3 key files and 3 key file extensions you want to know about. One is DBF for the table itself. One is
Mm-hmm.
CDX, and that's going to be for the compound index file once we start creating indexes, whether they're simple or whether they're compound, or let's say complex. And then we will have a file which has an FPT extension, and that's where any notes that we stored in the notes field will go. So now I'm going
Okay.
to give a browse command.
So it has created this inside C colon slash. I can't see it properly in the status
Right. So this is your
course.
table, but it doesn't have any data yet. Okay.
Okay.
Right now we're
Okay.
looking at it in a view that looks sort of like a spreadsheet. But if you only
Mm-hmm.
wanted to look at one record, you can type edit. And let's say I'm going to press Control Y in the screen, which is the same thing as typing append blank. So now it's
Okay.
created a placeholder for our data for the first record. Okay. So are
Okay.
you able to type from here? I guess take a shot and see.
I think you will have to
I have to give you.
give me control for that, I believe. Control, I believe.
Okay, let me see where I'm supposed to do that.
Dean, can you please make it little bit? Uh, I mean, the font is little bit small for me. I can't see the status bar in which folder it has created this table. C colon course, right?
Um, Sorry, we created the table in G:\\fpw
G colon.
26.
But it is showing to some other folder, I believe, in the status, right?
Okay, wait a second here. Let me get back to that screen. Okay, so at the bottom, oh, I see. My bad. Let's get rid of this table because I forgot to show you the command for changing the default directory. Yeah, good catch. Very good catch. Okay,
Mm.
so actually let's see. I'll just close that table. And here's your next command to be cognizant of. I think I actually put it in the notes. I just forgot to. There we go. I did have the command. I forgot to discuss it with you.
Okay,
So we
okay.
know we have a
Oh,
folder
right,
called g:\fox26.
right,
So
right,
in this
right.
instance, we'll say set default to g:\fox26. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another way to do it, which is set default to getter, and that's a real important command. That's a real important function. That's one that you will use quite a bit. And what getter will do is it will bring up a common dialog box, and it will actually let you choose the folder that you want to set default to.
Okay,
So
okay,
right now, let's
okay,
say okay. So now if we set default to getter, then we can jump back over to the G drive and go back to Fox26. And when I press select, the Fox Pro GUI
okay,
will actually, well, sometimes it will print the command right here, sometimes it doesn't. But we know, let's see here, print. Okay, so print sys5 plus Kurder. You don't have to remember. Shoot. This should print the current drive plus the current folder. And there we go. It's hard to see from here. Make it as easy as possible. This should pop up the current drive plus the current directory in a window in the upper right hand corner of the screen. There we go.
okay.
I wasn't going to cover the wait window, but might as well. It's pretty simple. You can have a wait window that times out after a few seconds, or it can wait for input from the viewer. In that case, I clicked a button and it went away. So anyway, we know we're in the right folder, and now we will issue this create table command again. And now in the bottom corner, I'm not sure if you can see it, it says card file g:\fox26 /cardfile.dbf.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now let's see
Mm-hmm.
here. Let me figure out where okay, let's see if remote control contains okay, here we go. Going to give mouse and keyboard control to Asta. So,
Okay,
all right, so now see if you can just type anything in that box.
okay.
Okay, good. All
Yeah,
right, so now we know it works. So now let's enter the command append blank. Okay. Append, A-P-P-E-N-D.
okay. So this is the end of the state. This, so I
It,
can directly type there.
yeah, it might be in here. You might be able to just,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not sure if I included that in my example or not. Okay, stop, stop. Okay.
Yeah.
So just type the words append and blank.
No, I can't. No, not able to type.
Um, okay.
I think control is gone, I think.
Okay. I'll try one more time here. Remote control.
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. Space blank. It's actually in the drop down list there. Okay, and press enter. Okay, so now we have a table with one empty record. So now, let's see, would you prefer to view that record in edit mode where, where it looks like all the fields are just um, vertically stacked, or would you rather view it like a spreadsheet? It's up to you.
Uh, I want to see the spreadsheet.
Okay, so then type browse, Browse.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now let's
Okay.
just, let's fill in any information you want. You can just type in the field. Okay. Okay. You can put nonsense in the other. Right. There you go.
Right.
Okay. Let's plug in today's date for date add. So
Okay.
yeah, it's expecting something like 0626. Actually, if you just type 0626 and hit the tab key, it'll figure out the.
Okay.
Okay, go back to date add.
So what
You accidentally inserted a space, so just hit your left arrow key. Just
what
press
year
your
it
left arrow
took?
key.
I don't know.
Just press your left arrow key.
Left arrow.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so now if you just type 0626. Okay, and now you can just hit the tab key to go to the next field. That's fine too. Just FoxPro is smart enough to plug in the current year unless you intend it to be something else. Okay, we don't worry about the date deleted since we're not deleting the record. Go to the next field.
So date it will not take, but year it can take.
Just delete that value. Okay. All right. You plug in, that's fine. At whatever, dot, whatever. Okay. Yeah, we'll give, let's say the call frequency is um, that's fine. Let's say true for active. Okay. And then, right. And then go over to the notes field, hold your control key and press the page down button.
Yes, I did that.
Okay, didn't do anything. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Okay, okay, I'll tell you what, just double click where it says memo. That should open up the memo field. Double click. No, you don't have to highlight it, just double click.
Doing nothing.
Okay, all right. So there we go. All right. So that opened up the memo field. All right. And okay. So when I populate it and get out of there, let's see here. Okay, now the lowercase m, the first M in memo, where it's highlighted, is now uppercase. That's FoxPro telling you that there's data in there. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing
Okay.
here, and then we'll start our second session before we time out.
So if I want to add all these values through the command prompt, then I will have to write the insert command.
There is an insert command. It's just I didn't want to cover populating variables just to get the insert command to work. We can go into that at a later time. And yeah, I'm glad you're familiar with that. So let's see here. Okay, so a get file is going to allow me to search for another table, and I created one a little earlier, and this table is called, well, it's cardfile.dbf, but in a different folder. Now wait a second here. Let's see if, I don't think this is it. I need to check one other thing. Okay, so, okay. Okay, so if you look down here, the record count has changed from 1 to 31. I appended into our card file table from another table that already
Okay.
has 30 test records. So now,
Okay.
let's see, I'll make the font a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Courier new, bold. Let's call it 14. Okay. All right. So, and I did a few cheats on street, and there are only half a dozen. So here's your original record, and then we've got a
Right.
scattering of names, streets, cities. I kept the cities, states, and zip codes in sync with one another, so those are actually true. The phone numbers are junk. Um, I have reasonably valid ad dates. I have markers that show that a few of the records were edited and a couple of the records were deleted. And then we've got our call frequencies. And then finally, in the notes field, and again, let's make our font Courier New, bold, 14. So now as I scroll through the table, we get records. What I did was I populated each notes field with some information about the person in the field. So we know simply that this is a record for Mark Smith and that he lives in Los Angeles. So those vary as we go through. Okay, I'm going to assume that, yeah, we're going to get kicked out of this meeting in 90 seconds. So I'll kill this session and I'll start the second one, and hopefully the same login will be correct for the second session. If not, I'll send you the information.
So this I have to be in the same meeting?
Uh, yeah, unless I've given you enough to digest for now, in which case we could pick up where we left off tomorrow. It's up to you.
That's fine. I mean, we can continue.
Okay, good. All right, so let me kill this
No
meeting
issues.
and we'll try to get another one going in a few
Okay.
minutes.
Okay, sure.
All right.